What made you realize transgenderism is a threat to women's rights?
Back in 2018, when I visited radical feminist gathering in Sweden. So if there any one who's watching from there and we met, hi. So anyway, I realized that it's a threat to the women's rights because of the organizers where they were telling us that we cannot share the location of where we are staying because they were afraid that the queer activist will attack it. And I was like shocked to my bones, like what? So that was the moment when I realized that this is very serious and this is not a joke, and that actually we as women are not allowed to gather and be together, and just it was just unbelievable to me. And the second thing was when everything escalated in United States with the sports, when the trans women were allowed to go to compete with women. So I was shocked to my bones because I am a sportswoman myself. So I know how different it is, and it's just ridiculous.
Incidents around the yearly organized large lesbian conference in Germany called Lesbian Spring Gathering that has been taking place since over 40 years. Last year it was in Cologne. The organizers of the Lesbian Spring Gathering, lesbian with a star, in Germany the star means that it includes trans persons. So the organizers have invited lesbian trans persons without any previous debate. In addition, they deleted the announcement of a trans critical workshop prepared by teachers and social workers. Will lesbians be made invisible from their website after being attacked by some NGOs? One is called Lambda Network for Young Queers.
Even though that in my country is not a outstanding situation, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is how the society is reacting to the whole situation. First of all, we need to separate things. The same way that there is a movement that helps women to gain their rights, men that feel like a woman, they need to be separated away. Because let's be honest, if everyone that feels like a woman had access to a place that belongs to women, what would happen? We are struggling to have our rights, to have places for our own.
There were many incidents really, but mainly back in fall when I was trying to gather enough information for feminism and women's movement against male violence in Europe, as those themes were part of my thesis. I was studying about it, and I was surprised to realize how much the so-called fourth feminist wave, as we call it, that is deeply influenced by social media, is affected by the queer theory and trans ideology. So the more I studied about it, the more I realized that this movement wasn't about human rights or trans acceptance as it's claimed, but it focused mainly on the erasure of women and the adoption of an elite-like terminology that most people could not follow. I was also terrified to find out about the operations, the puberty blockers, the experiences of detransitioners, and the terrorism women had to suffer by being called TERFs and transphobes. At the same time, more and more friends of mine here in Greece and people my age blindly supported and support trans ideology in most feminist groups and Facebook pages. So that was enough for me to start searching around the internet for more information about that movement, as I wondered how it is possible to perform such operations and administer hormones to kids. That was how I found out about international radical feminism pages. And then I started following them, while the Greek version of feminism supported the porn industry, the slogan "sex work is work," and queer theory. So that's how I found my way here.
From this debate that broke out on Twitter about you know, what exactly do you mean by a trans woman? And so there are many women on Twitter who started to question this whole, you know, this whole situation, and especially they were worried that they had to share public baths, and there are, well, I think I saw like dozens of women who actually said that they were victims of sexual violence, and they really don't want to see, you know, penises in public baths, and they're really frightened, and they want to be inclusive and they want to be kind to trans-identified men, but they said that's just something they can't accept. And those women were very sympathetic and very understand, you know, they tried everything to, you know, they chose their words carefully, but academic feminists just started calling these women TARFs, you know, TARFs, and they even talked about they even said they have penis phobia, you know, and they need to go and see a doctor.